What if I told you that three 21-year-olds just became billionaires by solving a problem so simple it's embarrassing that trillion-dollar companies never figured it out? What if I told you they did it from their dorm rooms at Harvard and Georgetown without a single line of code and turned down offers from Google and Microsoft along the way? This isn't another tech fairy tale. This is the real story of Brendan Foodie, Adarsh Hiremath, and Surya Midha, the three college debate partners who saw something everyone else missed and built a $2 billion AI empire in 24 months. But here's what makes the story truly remarkable. They almost gave up 3 times, and the breakthrough that made them millionaires happened by accident on a Thursday afternoon in their Harvard dorm. If you want to understand how the next generation is using AI to create wealth at speeds that were impossible just 2 years ago, hit that subscribe button now, because what you're about to learn will change how you think about opportunity in the age of AI. Chapter 1, The Debate Partners Who Saw the Future. Let me take you back to Bellarmine College Preparatory in San Jose, 2019. 3 high school debate partners are arguing about everything: economics, technology, global inequality. Brendan Foodie, the economics nerd; Adarsh Hiremath, the programming prodigy, headed to Harvard; Surya Midha, the strategy mastermind with parents who immigrated from New Delhi. But here's what made them different from every other smart high school friend group. They were obsessed with a problem that most people couldn't even see. We kept talking about all this brilliant talent around the world that was being wasted. I'd meet incredibly talented engineers in India who were making $500 a month, while companies in Silicon Valley were paying $200,000 for the same skills and still couldn't find enough people. While their classmates were worried about college admissions, these 3 were designing systems to fix global labor inefficiencies. Most people would call that naive idealism. They called it their future business plan. Fast forward to 2023. Adarsh is at Harvard studying computer science. Brendan is at Georgetown studying economics. Surya is exploring business. They're doing well academically, but they can't stop thinking about that global talent problem. Then ChatGPT launches and everything changes. Chapter 2, the $100,000 bet against college. Here's the moment that changed their lives. February 2023, Adarsh's dorm room at Harvard. They're on a video call discussing how ChatGPT could automate hiring processes. Suddenly, Adarsh says something that sounds crazy. What if we drop out and build this? The silence that followed lasted exactly 47 seconds. I know because Brendan recorded it. They weren't just talking about leaving college. They were talking about walking away from Harvard and Georgetown, the kind of schools their parents sacrificed everything to afford. Adarsh's parents had immigrated from India specifically to give their son these opportunities. But then Surya said something that sealed their fate. My parents didn't come to America so I could play it safe. They came so I could build something impossible. Within a week, they'd applied for Thiel Fellowships, the program that gives $100,000 to promising young entrepreneurs who drop out of college. The competition was brutal. Thousands of applicants for just 20 spots. The day they received that email, Brendan's father called him. The conversation was short. Are you sure about this? Dad, I've never been more sure of anything. Then I'm proud of you. 3 weeks later, they were college dropouts with $100,000, no safety net, and an idea that everyone said was impossible. Chapter 3, The Dorm Room Side Hustle That Changed Everything. Here's what nobody tells you about billion-dollar startups. They usually start as homework procrastination. Before they even had the name, the 3 founders were running what they called while their former classmates were writing term papers. They were connecting startups with talented engineers in India. The process was entirely manual and completely unsophisticated. Brendan would find startups that needed developers. Adarsh would interview candidates. Surya would handle the matching and payments. They were basically human recruiters, working out of dorm rooms. But something extraordinary happened. It worked. Within 3 months, they were making $80,000 in profit with zero funding. Companies loved the quality of talent they found, Engineers loved getting paid fairly for their skills. The three founders loved solving a problem that mattered. But the real breakthrough came when they realized they were doing exactly what ChatGPT could automate. I was spending 6 hours a day reading resumes. Darsh remembers. Surya was spending 4 hours conducting initial interviews. Brendan was writing the same emails over and over. We looked at each other and realized we've built the perfect test case for AI automation. That Thursday afternoon in Harvard's computer lab, Adarsh fed 500 resumes into a custom GPT model. In 10 minutes, it ranked candidates better than he could in 6 hours. They knew they were onto something massive. Chapter 4, the Peter Thiel moment that made them billionaires. By September 2023, 6 months after dropping out, they had a choice to make. Their manual side hustle was generating $1 million in annual revenue. They could keep it small, safe, and profitable. Or they could bet everything on AI and try to build something that could scale globally. The decision came down to a single meeting with Peter Thiel. Thiel asked them one question that changed everything. Do you want to build a nice business, or do you want to solve the problem? Solve the problem, then you need to think bigger. That meeting led to their first real funding round, $3.6 million from General Catalyst. But more importantly, it gave them permission to think at global scale. Within weeks, they had rewritten their entire platform using large language models. Instead of manually matching candidates, their AI could process thousands of applications simultaneously. Instead of conducting interviews, their system could evaluate candidates across dozens of skills in multiple languages. The results were staggering. They went from handling 50 matches per month to 5,000, from working with 10 companies to 100, from $1 million in annual revenue to $10 million in 6 months. But the real proof came when Google tried to acquire them. Chapter 5, the $2 billion validation, December 2024, Brendan gets a call from a number he doesn't recognize. It's someone claiming to work for Google's corporate development team. We'd like to discuss an acquisition. The initial offer was $500 million. Three 21-year-olds who'd been college students just 18 months earlier were suddenly looking at life-changing money. They could sell, become millionaires, and retire before their former classmates graduated. Not because they were greedy, but because they realized they were solving a bigger problem than even Google understood. Google saw us as a recruiting tool, Foodie explains. We saw ourselves as the future of work. There's a difference between optimizing hiring and democratizing opportunity. Instead of selling, they raised their Series B round in February 2025, $100 million from Benchmark, valuing the company at $2 billion. Suddenly, 3 college dropouts were each worth hundreds of millions of dollars on paper. They were among the youngest founders of a billion-dollar startup in history. But here's the twist. They almost never got there. Chapter 6, the 3 times they almost quit. Success story narratives always skip the failures, but the Mercor story includes 3 moments when everything almost fell apart. Crisis 1, the code that didn't work, April 2023. 2 months after dropping out, their AI matching system was a disaster. It was matching software engineers with marketing jobs, recommending candidates who didn't speak the required languages, and generally performing worse than manual screening. I called my parents and told them I'd made a mistake. I was ready to re-enroll at Harvard. The breakthrough came when they realized they were trying to automate the wrong thing. Instead of replacing human judgment, they needed to augment it. Their AI became incredibly good at initial screening, but humans made the final decisions. Crisis 2, the competitor that almost killed them, August 2023. LinkedIn launched an AI-powered recruiting feature that seemed identical to what Mercor was building. With LinkedIn's massive user base and resources, it looked like game over for 3 college dropouts. We spent a week in panic mode, Surya remembers. Then we realized LinkedIn was trying to optimize their existing model. We were building something completely different. Instead of competing on features, they competed on philosophy. LinkedIn was about networking. Mercor was about matching. LinkedIn served recruiters. Mercor served both companies and candidates equally. Crisis S3, the scaling disaster, November 23. Success almost killed them. As demand exploded, their AI systems couldn't keep up. Response times went from seconds to hours. Customer complaints poured in. Several major clients threatened to leave. We had 48 hours to fix it or lose everything. They spent 2 straight days rebuilding their entire architecture. No sleep, surviving on energy drinks and determination. By Monday morning, the system was running better than ever. Each crisis taught them something essential about building at scale. But more importantly, each crisis proved they wouldn't quit when things got hard. Chapter 7, the AI breakthrough nobody saw coming. Here's the part of the story that even most AI experts miss. Mercor's success wasn't about having better technology than Google or Microsoft. It was about understanding something fundamental about how AI and humans should work together. While big tech was trying to build AI that replaced human recruiters, Mercor built AI that made human judgment more powerful. Their system doesn't just read resumes, it understands career trajectories, identifies potential based on non-traditional backgrounds, and spots talent that conventional hiring would miss. A software engineer in Nigeria with an economics degree but incredible GitHub contributions. A data scientist in Brazil who learned machine learning through online courses instead of university. A product manager in India whose startup failed but whose experience was exactly what a Silicon Valley company needed. Traditional hiring looks for people who fit existing patterns. HireMath explains, our AI looks for people who could create new patterns. The results speak for themselves. Companies using Mercor report 40% faster hiring times, 60% better candidate satisfaction, and significantly more diverse teams. But the real magic happens for the candidates. Engineers in developing countries who were making $500 per month are now making $5,000. Talented people who couldn't get past resume screens are now getting interviews at top companies. They didn't just build a business, they built a bridge between global talent and global opportunity. Chapter 8. What this means for every 22-year-old on Earth. The Mercor story isn't just about 3 exceptional individuals. It's about what becomes possible when young people understand AI as a collaboration tool rather than a replacement threat. Here's what most people miss about their success. They didn't succeed because they were the smartest programmers or the most experienced entrepreneurs. They succeeded because they approached AI differently than everyone else. While established companies were using AI to optimize existing processes, these 3 college dropouts used AI to reimagine entire systems. While competitors were building AI to serve companies, they built AI to serve both companies and candidates. While others were using AI to reduce cost, they used AI to create value for everyone in the system. The lesson isn't that you should drop out of college. The lesson is that AI creates opportunities for people who think differently about problems that everyone else accepts as unsolvable. Global talent inefficiency isn't a new problem. It's existed for decades, but it took 321-year-olds and large language models to build a solution that actually works at scale